IGUALES.
Hello, Caroline, and welcome to the second season of the IGUALES podcast. Hello, everyone at home watching the IGUALES podcast at home for the second season in a row. First of all, Caroline, how are you feeling back in Madrid? How was everything?
I feel great. It's been a while since I've been here. I think my last time I was here was 2019. So it's been a few years, but I'm feeling great. It's so nice to be back in Spain and playing here in front of all my Spanish supporters. So it's great. Can't complain.
You were a finalist back in 2009, but a long time has happened. So now, it's 15 years later on the tour. You just commented in an interview that back in the days, you were just, when you had to go to tournaments, you did the hotel and courts, but now you like to enjoy the cities. Have you visited Madrid?
Yeah, I think as I got older and more experienced and kind of established myself on tour and felt more comfortable everywhere I went, I'm trying to explore more. You know, we get to see the world, we get to travel to all corners of the world. So for me, being able to explore, I think, is very important. Also, a way to recharge my batteries. And actually, this afternoon we're going to go into town as well and walk around, do a little shopping, eat a nice dinner. So I really enjoyed here. I've had great memories as well. I have 2 kids, so it's super busy for me normally. They're not here this week. They're back in Monaco.
Here? Oh.
So unfortunately, they're not here this week, but you know, they travel with me basically everywhere. So this is a 1 week where I get to sleep in a little bit and live a little bit on Spanish time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's unfortunate that Olivia and James are not here. Who would love to have Olivia maybe playing on the center court for a bit. I've seen some videos. So she plays tennis, right?
Yeah, she's very coordinated. She's very athletic, determined. She has the it factor of just, you know, she's just incredibly talented at anything she does. And it's pretty crazy. You can see that already at such a young age. She's not even 3 yet, but whether it's football, tennis, golf, basketball, she just has that hand-eye coordination. And it's really interesting to see. And you can see when she can't figure something out, she gets very upset and angry about it, but she won't give up until she's, you know, figured it out. So I guess that's a good skill to have, but something that I need to just, you know, try and help her as much as possible. James is much more laid back, much more, you know, going with the flow. He's like, whatever, just look at me, hug me, kiss me. Then he's the happiest little boy. So 2 very different personalities, but it's fun to see already now that their personalities shine through like this.
Do they remind you of you when you were a young age, do you think?
I think Olivia is very much like me. And James is very much like my husband. My husband is much more laid back, you know, everything is fine. I call James the gentle giant because he's very big, but he's so sweet, you know. And so him and my husband are like the same person, and Olivia and I are very similar.
The gentle giant, I love that. So basically, you've said in some interviews that a big part of your upcoming was your family being a big sports family in a way. Your husband is as well. Would you like to implement this in your education of your kids as well?
Absolutely. I don't know if they're going to be professional athletes or just playing, you know, for fun, but I think it's very important. I think sports has given me so much in my life and also taught me discipline and setting goals and showing up and being responsible and keeping me busy and healthy and active. And I think that gives so much also just for your brain. You feel so good after you work out, after you've done a run or played tennis or whatever it may be. And I think giving that to my children, those opportunities, I think is very important, and the lifestyle that me and my husband and my family, you know, have. So that absolutely, I would love them to do sports, whatever level they do, but just to be active and out there. Now, the young generation is a lot on their phones. There's a lot of, you know, comparisons, and I think sports can be a way to, you know, keep them away from their phones a little bit and actually look around and enjoy and take the world in a little bit of a different way.
Do you feel like you've been playing, you know, on tour for a long, long time? now with the generation we have phones, we have all this technology. Do you feel like when you're jumping on the court, you're not as concentrated as you were before because, maybe the attention span?
I don't know. I don't feel that, I think, personally. I can't speak for everybody, but we see it all the time. I even catch myself, the phone is almost always, in your hand or in your pocket, and I really try and be conscious, especially in front of my kids, not always to have my phone because they see everything and they pay attention. And so for me, I always try and just have it in my pocket. If I'm with my family, I know that the most important people are there and the rest can wait. And so that's what I consciously try and be, because as you're saying, everything is so easy on the phone now. Oh, let me check this. Let's Google, oh, what's on Instagram, what's on X, so for me, I really try and make a conscious decision to be in the moment and actually look around and enjoy the places we are.
These past few months, you've been getting back on tour, and you've done really well. I want to talk about Indian Wells, where you were playing really well, but then you had a little trouble with your feet. Are you 100% here for Madrid, healthy on your body and stuff?
Yeah, I feel pretty good right now. Knock on wood. I feel pretty healthy. It's tough, the body takes a big beating. I didn't play for a very long time, and coming back and playing on such a high level, I think, it's a bit of a shock to the body also after giving birth to 2 kids. I think your body changes and it's different needs that you need with strength, etc. So it's taken a little while just to get, more stable and feel like I'm strong enough to where I want to be. And I feel pretty good right now. So hopefully that continues and I can stay healthy for the rest of the season.
Hopefully, we're knocking on wood. On Indian Wells, you played against Iga. I was looking about how on 2019 you also played against her when she was getting up in the ranking. When you played against her when she was young, did you see something on her that interested you, like she was going?
It's interesting. I remember the match, and obviously I remember her playing well, but it's so hard when you play a young player, and a lot of young players play great against, high-ranked players. There's nothing to lose. And, you think, oh, this player has a chance. But there's a long way of you have a chance and actually grabbing that opportunity. But with Iga, obviously, she's just continuously gotten better and better and wanting to improve. And she's, I think, built strength on her body. And I think, she obviously has very good tennis IQ as well. And it's great to see. I always like to see young players who work really hard and who are very dedicated to the sport and doing very well. We need the young generation to be there and step up and be consistent and push the sport forward, because we need the young kids to have players to look up to. And I think what Iga has been doing has been very, very good.
It has been very good indeed. When you were playing back in Indian Wells, I found it really interesting that you have been working for ESPN as a commentator. Do you feel like commentating the game for a while has given you some strengths to, when you jump on the court, to play better?
Absolutely. I think being able to see the tennis from the outside and really go in depth and see, stats, etc., I think really has helped. And it gives you a much better understanding of the game from the outside. You understand how it feels to play against the player, so I can give a different perspective than a lot of other people because I actually played against these women. But as a player, seeing the stats and seeing black on white what actually was going on in the matches, where people serve, what their strengths and weaknesses are, what their patterns are, those are things that I think for sure were very beneficial for me coming back.
And sometimes when you were commentating those games, did you feel like the urge to just jump on the court and play yourself?
Not particularly at that point, because I hadn't been practicing at all. And I was like, that's all good and that's for them. But at the same time, I think it will always be like this. When you've played big matches, important matches at big courts, packed stadiums, you love the feeling of being there. That's what you've worked so hard for your whole life. So So I think that will always be one of those things that you'll miss, regardless of, how long you've been away. But at the same time, everything that goes in behind the scenes that people don't see on a day-to-day basis, also playing the smaller events and practicing, hours and hours every day at home, and, you're hurt, but you're trying to get back. There's a lot of things you don't want to show as a player to the others to give them an advantage. So it's a lot harder than what it looks like on TV, that's for sure. And sometimes I think it's not easy for the normal person who's never played on that level to really understand that. And once you really try and get back into that, you start realizing, it's not as easy, because if it was, everyone would be doing it.
Everyone, definitely not me. We have to finish this interview, so I'm going to give you one last question. This year we have the Olympics. Are you planning on playing that?
Olympics is a huge goal of mine, and one of the big reasons why I really wanted to come back. I was the flag bearer for Denmark back in Rio, which was one of the biggest days of my life, biggest moments of my life. Such an incredibly proud moment, something I still look back on, and I get a little emotional, because it's so few people get to bring in their country to the Olympics in front of 1 billion people watching the opening ceremony. And all these incredible athletes have worked their whole lives to be there in that moment. And so that was very, very special. The one thing I don't have on my resume is an Olympic medal. And so I would love to try and go for one in these next Olympics. So that's a big goal of mine, for sure.
Are you planning on playing maybe mixed with Holger Rune as well?
I would absolutely love to play mixed with him. I've made that, I think, very clear. Hopefully he'll want to play with me too,
Well, if you're watching, you have to play with Caroline for sure.
But, I think we would make a great team. And obviously the draw size is not very big. So, I think we would have a shot.
Definitely. I mean, we'll probably be the favorites to win it all. So thank you so much, Caroline.
Thank you.
Any words you want to say to the Spanish fans?
Well, muchas gracias for your support, and I'm so happy to be back. And next time I'm going to bring my kids for sure.
Oh, we would love to see them here. Thank you so much, Caroline.
Thank you so much.
And good luck on the courts.
Thank you.